What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's that vlog time once again. That's right, this is episode 45 of my Let's Vape vlog series, where I talk about a whole bunch of different topics affecting the vaping industry, my channel, my life, and everything else in between. I've got a big show on tap for you guys today. I've got some news, updates, and advocacy to start off with, of course. We've got some first impressions to do, including the Reverie RDA. We've got some shout-outs to do as well, and of course, what I've been vaping on these past weeks. So I've got a snack time segment as well planned out for you guys. I got some Canadian snacks to try out. Make sure you stay tuned for that. We've got some vape mail to unbox, and of course, a random review to wrap it all up. So with that, go ahead, grab your favorite snack, grab a comfy chair, a beverage if you want to, sit back, relax, and let's vape. Alright guys, so I'm back after a couple of weeks away. Really missed you guys, but I wanted to go to CVE in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I had an absolute blast. Let me tell you, it was a really great time just getting to meet some of the guys from the Vape Stew Discord server. I met Ender's Other Game, aka Keith, I met Overdrip, aka Chris, and I met Sammy Nitro 5150, aka Sammy. So those three guys really made my weekend just that much more fun. We talked, we just sat down, we had some beers, we had some good food, and it was overall a really good experience. As far as the show itself, well, the first day we stood in line for like an hour and a half waiting to get into B2B day, and it seemed like a little bit of a shorter day because of that. I mean, granted, this was travel day, so it was really hectic, and you know, you go through customs and all that stuff, and it's a pain, but we made it, and finally we were able to explore inside a little bit. And that was the day that Keith was there, and luckily I got to catch up with him because he was this close from not coming at all. He actually just had a kid, so congratulations once again, Keith, to you. I mean, I know you've heard this a billion times by now, but you know, I just really appreciate the opportunity to meet some of these people in real life, you know, especially with you guys out there. I would love to meet every single one of you at a convention, and someday hopefully that happens. But as far as the open to the public days, getting to hang out with Sammy and Chris was definitely the highlight of my weekend as far as those 2 days were concerned. But otherwise, the show itself was very similar to like an American show. It was mostly juice. I'd say probably 90+% juice there, and it was different juice. You know, obviously I wanted to walk around and experience what the Canadian market was like because they don't have a ton of American juice. Our side of the market hasn't really flooded over into Canada quite yet, but I saw a couple people that I knew, which was really nice, but mostly just being able to try all of Chris and Sammy's favorite juices was definitely a really cool thing for me. Plus we got to, you know, sit down and drink a couple of beers, which is really great as well. So show itself, yeah, pretty darn good, but the people were the best part. Got to see a couple of other subscribers there, which was awesome. Can't wait to go back to Canada already. Hopefully I'll get to go back at some point in time in the near future, but I really am dying to go to Montreal or Quebec again. I haven't been in years since high school, and even then it was only for a school trip as well, so I didn't really get to explore or anything. But yeah, Canada's fun. It's kind of like a weird version of America, if you want to put it that way. You know, the money's a little bit different, and you have some French people walking around, and you know, that was just a trip. So it was really fun, and definitely plan on going back again sometime soon. Moving on to some advocacy news. This one hits super close to home with me because it's from my home state of Massachusetts. Now, this whole thing kind of was happening as I was leaving for Canada, and I was kind of freaking out a little bit, but luckily this is a little bit of good news. There's a tiny glimpse of sunshine on the horizon here, but it's not over yet, and we'll get into that in a second. But this whole thing has to do with the Tobacco 21 bill that's going on in Massachusetts right now, which would move the age to purchase tobacco products from 18 up to 21. I firmly believe that age limits are not going to stop people from getting their hands on these products. It's just going to make it more difficult for them, and they're going to have to find other means of acquiring them. So with that, I think the whole thing is kind of dumb. But this more specifically has to do with the amendment on this bill. The bill is known as S2571-1, and we're talking about Amendment 1. Now, this would restrict the sale of flavored tobacco products or vapor products to tobacco stores or vape shops. Now, that sounds like it could be a good thing for Massachusetts retailers. However, there's a few things that kind of stand in your way. First and foremost, it says, in order for establishment to become adult only and qualify to sell flavored tobacco products, they must meet the following requirements. 1, establishments should be IDing customers at the door. 2, they cannot sell anything that isn't incidental to sale of tobacco, i.e. lottery, alcohol, anything that requires them to have a food permit, clothing, etc. So they should be limited to selling tobacco products and things that relate to tobacco, i.e. pipes, lighters, vapes, etc. In addition to the requirements above, the adult-only establishments can sell CBD liquids that are intended to be vaped but would not be able to sell edibles. Another hindrance to the process would be the fact that certain boards of health across Massachusetts could further restrict access to flavored vapor products by not giving out the permits necessary to run an adult-only store. So that's the type of state that Massachusetts is. You need a permit for absolutely everything, and you have to jump through a million hoops, and sometimes it's more difficult than other times. Certain areas, they can't even just have an open door. You have to actually be buzzed in and all of that. So it just seems really ridiculous to me that we're going through great lengths to keep these products out of the hands of kids, and yet they're just making it harder and harder for us to do business in the first place. So with that, I could definitely see a problem there, and it was looking pretty dark on the horizon for a while, but there is a glimmer of hope in the on the horizon here, and that's because they removed that amendment. So luckily, that amendment is now gone. It's off the table, but it could be put back on at any point in time. So we have to stay vigilant in our emails and our phone calls and our letters and all that stuff. We have to keep up the good work there. And I really feel like this has to do with our hard work that we put in and all of those phone calls that went out to the senators and the lawmakers. And that's just something that's a really nice thing to see, because, it's nice to see the process actually work. It's good that, we're actually making a difference in our industry, and we're actually impacting the way lawmakers think and all of that, because, that's really what we do. That's why we're here. That's why we advocate. That's why we push so hard for what we believe in, and I want to see everyone keep it all up. Yeah, I just don't think that restricting age is really going to work for anybody. It's just, like I said, going to make things a lot harder on the people looking for them, but they will find a way. People will find a way to get the stuff that they want, and at the end of the day, no matter what, even if it's against the law, they're going to get it. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Make sure you guys get your comments into the FDA on flavored vapor products. It ends July 19th, which is only a couple of weeks away, so I'm going to be pushing you guys super duper hard to get your comments in, and if you haven't done it already, then make sure you go do it right now. If you have done it already, then share the link. Just get that link every single where you can. You can also type in fda100k.com to make it super duper easy. Just click that link down there in the box below if you guys haven't done it. It's super important, and I think everyone out there should be doing this. All right, guys, it's time for some first impressions, and I'm going to start it off with this guy right here. This is the Reverie by Times Vape and Tenacious TX Vapes. Big shout out to Stan for sending this one my way a couple days early and just getting it in my hands before CVE. I got to bring this thing up to CVE with me, and a buddy of mine, Sammy Nitro 5150, put one of his famous coils in there, and I am proud to say this thing is going strong. The airflow on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. I really doubt this thing has a rival when it comes to the smoothness of the airflow. Almost no turbulence whatsoever, and it just feels like it's a rush of air hitting that coil directly. And I had Sammy build this coil very specifically. I prefer a 0.14 alien coil for my single coil mech squonking RDAs. So the way I have it set up now is exactly how I like it. This thing for a single coil can actually chuck some serious cloud, so let's just go ahead and show you a little vapor production. Yes, you heard me correct. That is a single coil in here making that much vapor, so that is what's really blowing me away right now. Not to mention the fact that it's sort of a cooler vapor. It's not the hottest ever. I mean, a 0.14 single coil is pretty darn low, and with this thing here, you get that direct airflow right onto the coil, and it just cools it off so efficiently that you have your coil staying cool, your cotton doesn't get burnt out too quickly, and it gives you a lot of vapor. So right now, I am really impressed with this thing. Stan has done it once again. I really got to say that vertical coils, I've never been a huge fan of them, but now I'm really starting to like them because this Reverie right here. The next thing we're going to look at is this little guy right here. This is the Minifit by Justfog. It's a tiny little pod system. It is no bigger than your thumb, and I gotta say, this is definitely one of my favorite things that I found at CVE. Sammy Nitro told me about this thing. He had one with him, and I saw his, and I was like, wow, I need one of those because it is absolutely tiny, and it's exactly what I'm looking for out of a pod system, so I just had to own one. I went over there, bought one for myself, and I've been rocking it ever since. It has a 400 milliamp hour battery, which is really impressive for a device of this size, and it does last quite some time. I've only charged it once since CVE, and I've been using it quite a bit, so that's impressive there. It also has a button on the top here, and that shows your battery life with some LEDs, which is really nice. The button is very clicky, and I like a button draw because I can control it a little bit more than an automatic draw. I can start and stop whenever I want. I can do a little primer puff if I want to, just like the old days when I first started vaping on those 510 Sigalike batteries. But this one here has a nice 2 mil capacity and a little tiny flip top on the cartridge itself. Filling is super easy, and I have had very, very little juice on the outside of this thing. Only a tiny, tiny bit, and comparing that to some of the other pod systems that are on the market nowadays, that is totally acceptable for me. Just a drop or two of juice is not that big of a deal, especially when I carry this thing around in my pocket all day long. It's getting jostled around. It's getting hot, cold when I take it out of my pocket or something like that. You know, this thing is definitely standing up, and I gotta say, definitely digging this one so far. So let's just go ahead and have a quick puff off of this one. So the one downside to this device so far is that it does have a little bit of a sound when you're puffing on it. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I mean, it's pretty high-pitched and whistly, and, you know, it's a little bit annoying, but overall, not so bad for such a tiny little stealthy device like that. It's an easily all-day carryable sort of device. Just throw one in your pocket, or a couple of them if you prefer to have more than one flavor going at the same time. And it's cheap, too. I paid $20 Canadian, so that's about, you know, $16.50, $17 or so US, and that is definitely reasonable for this small of a pod system here. Really a good deal, and I'm definitely gonna recommend you guys check that one out for yourselves. And last but not least, we have the QP Design Juggernaut RTA here. This thing is just a thing of beauty. I absolutely love the styling of this thing. It is so gorgeous, and I just love what QP Design comes up with because it's very creative. One thing that I was a little bit confused on at the start was how to fill it, but after a while I realized that you can just pull up on that section there, and that is how you fill it. So pretty cool. I like that little hidden feature there. It's a top airflow RTA as well, so you're not going to get any leaking out the bottom here. So far, so good as far as wicking is concerned. I've never had any gurgles, never had any issues whatsoever, no dry hits or anything like that. The flavor is fantastic. Right now, I'm vaping the 12 Monkeys Origins out of there, and the flavor reproduction is fan-freaking-tastic. I am loving it. It's a very sweet kind of flavor. It's a fruity flavor. It's got a lot of the top notes to it, and you get all of that with this thing here. And I've got a pretty warm build in it right now. It's a 0.13 ohm dual quad core fused Clapton coil. Wow, that is a heck of a mouthful there. But yeah, that's the build I'm rocking in here that you guys saw on Fresh Build Friday, and I'm really liking it. Even with a hot build like that, it is really good. I will be trying a couple other styles of builds with this device here before I give it a final review, but so far so good with it. The airflow is slightly restricted. I did mention most of this stuff in Fresh Build Friday, but for those of you that didn't watch it, I'm just explaining to you guys now. But yeah, the airflow is slightly restricted, but overall it still has plenty to the coils where I'm not getting any sort of burnt flavor or anything like that. So you can still get a really good direct to lung inhale off of it. So let's just go ahead and have a rip off of this guy. Man, these Canadians really know what they're doing when it comes to machining and coming up with these devices, because this is absolutely just stunning. I love the overall look and feel to this thing so far. It just feels like a very high quality piece of machinery, and all the threading and all the O-rings and everything just fit super nice. The tolerances are all nice and compact and just perfect in my book. So yeah, if you guys want a hell of a good beast mode RTA, I would highly suggest you check out the QP Design Juggernaut. All right, guys, it's shout out time. That's right. It's time for me to show you guys some love out there. And real quick, I just wanted to take a second and just step back and just say thank you to everyone who's ever written me an email and just kind of communicated with me, because you guys always have some really nice words to say. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. I really do appreciate everything that you guys do for me. You keep me motivated. You guys are the heart and soul of Daily Vape TV. So thank you for that. And keep writing me emails and, you know, keep asking for those shout outs, because I will continue to do so until I cannot anymore. But with that, we've got a couple today. Let's just start off with this one here. It says, "Hi, I'm Trained Sonic. Can you please shout out Yeti's uncle? He has a bi-weekly show Saturday evenings on addiction and recovery. Support vapors supporting vapors." Well, there you go. From Mr. Trained Sonic to Yeti's uncle. Big shout out to you, Yeti's uncle. And as well as you, Trained Sonic, big shout out to you for writing in as well. I've seen you guys both in the comment section, Yeti's uncle and Trained Sonic, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I do read the comments, so do not ever feel like you've been ignored. Everything gets read and appreciated, and I've been trying to be better at responding to them. But I've also seen you guys in chat a few times on Vape Stew or Salves, so you know, keep doing your thing, guys. Yeti's uncle, you're doing a great thing out there, and keep it up. And I just really appreciate all the hard work you guys put in, so thank you for that. Big shout out to both of you, and let's just go ahead and check out the next one here. This one says, "Shout out to me, Ken Langeal and the Yoda line from CVE." Well, Ken, it was a pleasure meeting you. Big shout out goes to you and your Yoda line. If you guys are in Canada, make sure you check this stuff out, because it is absolutely delicious. He's got 3 fruit flavors and a dessert flavor right there, and they are amazing. They're definitely some of the cleanest liquids that I've tried all year long. And I gotta say, I definitely dig them. So Ken, thank you for giving me this little sample pack here, and thank you for just talking with me and just, you know, hanging out at CVE. So once again, big shout out goes to you, Ken. Next up, we've got a very special shout out for a very special stooge. Her name's Michelle Lynn. You guys might know her as Dull Dime Mods, aka the one that makes these gorgeous things right here, these Altoids mods. Number 20, proud owner here myself. And yeah, Michelle Lynn, we love her to death on the Vape Stew show and in the Discord chat as well. She's basically one of the family now. But let's go ahead and read her email real quick. It says, "Hey, Mr. from another sister, could I get a shouty outie for the article about little old me in the June edition of Vape News magazine?" That's page 46 for anyone wondering. As well, my album Villa Mod is on sale now for only $5 until after the 4th of July. So she posted a link here. I'll post it right down there in the description below if you guys want to check out her album. She is an awesome bass player, and you guys should definitely be supporting her because she is awesome. It says, "Thanks, Michelle. P.S. Get up on out of here with my ear holes." Well, okay, Michelle, you know what? You tried to sneak in a little Rick and Morty quote there. I don't know about ear holes. I mean, is she talking about my ear holes? But anyways, shout out to you, Michelle. Thank you so much for writing in. We love ya. And the last one, I kind of wanted to add a little bit of a personal spin to it, because this person didn't request a shout out or anything. She never asks for much, and she's just awesome. So I really feel like just kind of putting the spotlight on her for a second. And that is Connie Fellows, aka Not So Scrawny Connie. And I'll link to her Instagram down there in the box below if you guys want to check her out. But she has been a supporter of mine for a very long time, and she has also fallen in love with the Vape Stew and the Discord and everything else. Another part of the family, and she works her butt off for advocacy. She advocates 24/7. She's always one of the first things I see in my newsfeed when I wake up. It's just some advocacy related post. But anyways, big shout out goes to you, Connie. Thank you so much for all of the hard work and effort you put in for advocating on a daily basis. I just wanted to let you know out there that I am paying attention to what you're doing, and I definitely appreciate it. All right, guys, it's time to talk about what I've been vaping on these past couple of weeks, and we've got a ton of purple in this one, guys. So let's just go ahead and kick it off with, boom, this guy right here, the purple Hexome V3 with the OG recoil on top of there. And I've fallen back in love with the OG recoil. What can I say? I just needed something more purple to bring to Canada with me, and this one just kind of fell into my lap. So I was like, okay, yeah, game on. And purple on purple here, loving it, of course, as always. On top of there, I've got some Blazz Peach, of course. Got to rock the Blazz Peach. I can go through bottle after bottle after bottle of this stuff. I can't get sick of it. I don't know what it is. I'm probably on bottle number 6 or 7 at this point, maybe even more than that, probably more than that. But yeah, just definitely not getting sick of this stuff so far. Next up, we've got the Dreamer mechanical mod with the Reload RDA on top of there, care of Mr. Demo Vapes. Big shout out to Demo Vapes for gifting me this thing. It is absolutely glorious, I must say. This is one of my all-time favorite setups now. I mean, it's super duper lightweight. I actually rocked this at CVE pretty much the entire time, and with only 1 or 2 batteries on me, to be honest. I mean, I really didn't go through batteries all that quick. I mean, by the end of the day, it was pretty much toast, and I had to change it out before I went out for the evenings, but otherwise, I gotta say, this thing hits like a freaking train, and I absolutely love it. Once again, Blazz on top of there, Blazz Peach, you know. I did also want to mention that Blazz is now available on lucidrda.com, so make sure you guys go check out Stan's site if you want to pick up some Blazz. He's got all 4 flavors on there, and you can use the coupon code DailyVapeTV for 15% off, so check that out, guys. And my final purple setup is, of course, this guy right here, the Purple People Eater, the Defiant Designs TS triple parallel mod with the Reverie on top of there. Now, I did rock this thing with the Recoil Rebel in purple on top for quite some time, but ever since I got this Reverie in, I really wanted to use it, and it's been living on here ever since then. So with that, inside I've got Le Confesseur, and this is from a French manufacturer from Canada. I picked this up at CVE, and this is probably my favorite juice at CVE. I gotta say, this stuff right here, and I'm probably gonna need more of it soon. So yeah, this bottle already is almost gone. Basically 2 fills of the Squonk bottle in this thing, and there's only a little bit left in here. So definitely gonna have to pick more of that up. I'm gonna have to track some down or get a favor from one of my lovely Canadian friends out there to send me some down. But really good stuff. Definitely recommend it. It's a fruit mix. It's got all sorts of fruits in there. I get mostly like a peach mango sort of thing going on, and that is definitely on the top of my list of my favorite flavor profiles. So let's go ahead and have a vape off this one. Moving swiftly along, next up we have the Wismec RX Gen 3 with the QP Design Juggernaut tank on top of there. I also got this tip in Canada. I will put a link to that down in the description below. Really nice, solid acrylic tip here. It's got a nice cone shape on the inside, so any little droplets or anything go back down inside, which is nice. And it fits very nicely in the QP Design Juggernaut. So with that, I've got some 12 Monkeys Origins. This one is called Galago, and it's a grape lychee flavor. Fantastic flavor. I love this combination. It's just the right amount of sweet and tart and sour all at once, and it's almost like candy, but not quite, you know, if you get what I'm putting down. But really good stuff. Definitely digging it, and I highly recommend it if you guys can get your hands on some of that as well. And the last full setup I've got this week is actually a mech mod. I'm rocking the Grip mod by Immortal Mods with the Dead Rabbit and Challenge Cap. This is the butcher cap on top of there, and a DHD bat tip. It's got little plastic bats in there, and it glows in the dark. I mean, how can you go wrong? Jess Marie is an evil genius when it comes to these tips. Absolutely love this thing. And I gotta say, I'm also kind of out of my comfort zone when it comes to the juice as well. I have some of this Jam Monster Blueberry in there. I mean, it's really outside of my kind of comfort zone when it comes to flavor profiles. I don't typically go for that type of flavor, but it's blueberry jam on toast. I mean, I don't really get a whole lot of the buttered toast flavor, but it is in there. And, you know, the blueberry is really, really good, so I'm loving it. So let's just go ahead and have a couple rips off of this thing. Oh yeah, this thing hits like a freaking freight train, let me tell you guys. But last but not least, of course, the Minifit. In here, I've got some Propaganda Wildfire. It's like a cured tobacco with a little bit of sweetness. I'm not exactly sure 100% the flavor profile, but it's kind of like a sweet tobacco. It's good stuff. I do recommend you guys try it out if you like a good tobacco vape from time to time. And it's perfect for this little pod system here. So let's go ahead and have a couple puffs. Well, what do you know? It's snack time once again. Chris, aka Overdrip, on Instagram and on the Vape Stew Discord server, gifted me a whole bunch of Canadian goodies to take home and try out. And, well, what do you know? We're going to share the experience today. So with that, thank you, Chris, for giving me these to try out. Really looking forward to this. And let's see what we got up first here. Let's try out these Ruffles all-dressed chips. Saciones. Wow, I probably pronounced that really, really wrong, and I do apologize to all of my French viewers out there. I'm going to have to learn some French eventually. But with that, I'm seeing some vinegar, an onion, and a pepper, so I kind of get the gist of what they're getting at here. And funny story is, I have tried something similar to these before, called the whole shebang. It's basically like an all-season chip, and apparently you can get these in prison or in jail. Now, I have never been to jail or prison or anything like that, but I do have friends that have been there, and they actually got their hands on a case of these things, and I got to try them out. So they were pretty darn good, so I kind of have a feeling that this is what they were going for here. But then again, it's a completely different brand and all that, so let's just go ahead and rip the bag open and try some of these out. So these are like the everything bagel of chips. They got everything going on. Your mouth doesn't really know what to do with itself, but I'm getting kind of a barbecue, salt and vinegar for sure, and you know, a little bit of something else. I don't even know. Your taste buds just are like obliterated after eating a bag of these because there's just so much seasoning going on, but they are delicious, I gotta say. It kind of leaves the barbecue flavor on your tongue, so that's kind of the flavor that I'm getting now. But it's could be like an accident at the factory, you know? Someone screwed up and, you know, put the barbecue seasoning on some salt and vinegar chips, and they just bagged them up and said, screw it. Yeah, I actually like those a lot, and I would definitely continue to eat that bag, but you know what? After just a couple of chips there, I will say, yeah, really kind of getting that zing going on in my mouth right now, and I don't think I could eat that whole bag and have any taste buds left afterwards. Next up, we have some more chips, and these are some Lay's ketchup chips. I've never tried ketchup chips before, and I believe these are available in the States. I'm not quite sure. I've never tried them, but I've seen them all over the place, and I guess these are a Canadian staple. So let's just go ahead and try these ones out. First of all, just look at the color of these things. They are like kind of a burgundy pinkish. They look interesting, really interesting. So with the first one, you don't really get that ketchup flavor. It just kind of tastes like almost a barbecue or something like that. Then you eat a couple more of them, and then that ketchup starts kicking in. Once they start like kind of melting in the back of your mouth, you really get that like vinegary, you know, tomatoey kind of flavor. And it is good. Now, I am one that can dip their chips in ketchup from time to time. I really have no problem with that. It's almost the same way that some people can't stand putting ketchup on eggs. But it's actually really good. I'm not going to lie. It's actually a really good thing. Overall, not that bad. I mean, I was expecting something a little bit different, or maybe even a little worse, and I guess in my head, but pleasantly surprised by these. The color does kind of freak me out a little bit, but I could see myself eating these on the regular. No big deal. Now we're on to the candy bars. We have a whole bunch of different candy bars here. We're going to start off with the Mars bar. Never had a Mars bar before. Peanut free. Okay. Don't know what else there is about this thing. I really don't know anything about a Mars bar. I've never had one before. So let's go ahead and try this thing out. All right, so basically it's a Three Musketeers bar. I really can't tell the difference between the two. I'm not sure if it's a regional thing or something like that, but this is straight up a Three Musketeers bar. I'm not disappointed by it. I mean, I love Three Musketeers, so really no problem with me as far as this goes, but it's just kind of, you know, something I'm kind of used to in a different package. Let's move on to something else I'm used to, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Now, apparently, you guys get 3 Reese's Peanut Butter Cups in your packages up in Canada, so I'm curious to see the difference otherwise. So far, it's hard to determine anything else that's different. I wonder if it's smaller. It kind of looks smaller to me. I feel like these cups are actually a little bit smaller than the ones that we get over here. But maybe that's just my imagination. They look smaller. So let's have a bite here. I mean, I'm a huge Reese's Peanut Butter Cup fan, so any Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is better than no Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And it's really difficult for me to actually discern the difference between American and Canadian Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Again, but you know what? We're delving a little bit deeper now. We've got something, I have no idea what to expect here. It's called a Crunchy Bar, Sponge Toffee. And this is a Cadbury product, so let's go ahead. Ah, all right. Let's try this one out. I was not prepared for this at all. So just biting into this thing, you can see the inside. It looks like you bit into a sponge. It's really, really weird. It's crunchy. It's sweet. It's kind of like a Butterfinger, but without the layers, I guess. It's just straight up like you bite into this thing and it breaks off like, you know, a rock. It's a very hard, tough inside, and you just kind of break off a chunk of it. It's not like a smooth, creamy sort of toffee or anything like that. I was not prepared for this whatsoever. Didn't know what to expect, and it's good. The chocolate part is probably my favorite part about this one. I love Cadbury chocolate. It is official. I'm in love with Cadbury chocolate. We just can't get anything quite like it here in the States. At least not where I'm from, but that was good. Moving on, we have a coffee crisp. This one is, I don't know, it's just a coffee crisp. Doesn't really say much about it. So this is a Nestle one. And yeah, let's have a bite. As I unwrapped it, I got this big whiff of like a coffee smell, and that's exactly what it tastes like. It has like a coffee middle part with a little bit of a light kind of biscuity crispiness to it, and a very light kind of outer shell, very thin layer of chocolate to this one. Similar to the Toffee Crunch one, but has that crispiness to it, which is really, really nice. Here's another one from Nestle. This is a Big Turk, and it looks a lot like the packaging for Bazooka Joe bubblegum. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it looks very similar with the big bold letters and the blue and the red and all that. But this one is a Turkish Delight. I've had Turkish Delight before, never in candy bar form, so let's see. Well, this one's kind of got a funky shape to it too. It's got a weird kind of weird shape to it, but I'm imagining you can just get like one little bite like that, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, so I was not expecting this at all. This has a jelly center. That is some weird stuff right there. It's just got a straight up jelly center covered in chocolate. It's good. It's like a fruity kind of taste to it in the middle, but can't really kind of put my finger on what exactly it is. So it kind of weirded me out a little bit. And it's like chewy. You pull away from this one and it just kind of like tears almost. It's really weird, but it's actually pretty good. The taste that's left on your tongue is kind of like that fruitiness, which is nice, and the chocolate's really good, so no complaints there. And next up, we have an Aero bar, A-E-R-O. This is the peppermint one, and it looks kind of funky on the package. I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but it's got like little air pockets inside, so I feel like that's the whole thing they're going for. Okay. So just rip off a chunk there. Yeah, it's got little air pockets inside there. Kind of looks like styrofoam or something. Let's go ahead and try it out. This one is really, really good because I was expecting like that middle bit to be like hard, kind of like the toffee or whatever. But no, it is like silky smooth. It just melts in your mouth the second it hits your tongue. And wow, I really like this one a lot. It feels like it's very, very, very light. Because of all those air pockets, the second it melts, it just kind of collapses in on itself and just dissolves into nothing. But it's a lot like a peppermint patty in that kind of sense. But it just has a kind of funky shape to it. And actually the whole thing itself is very light. It's really lightweight. So it's just weird. It's really weird, but it's very tasty. So there's the Aero bar. And last but not least, I wanted to save this one because this has been something we were arguing about in the Discord chat for the longest time, Chris and I. What is a Smartie? You know, whatever you define a Smartie as, it's probably the incorrect definition for someone in another country because apparently all over the world, Smarties are completely different. In the UK, they're called something completely different than the US. And now here we have the Canadian version, which is kind of like an M&M. It's very similar to like an M&M. So let's go ahead and just get a couple out here. Oh, there we go. So small little hard candy coated shells with chocolate on the inside. And yeah, I got a handful of them here. Before they melt, let's go ahead and eat them. Yeah, it's pretty much what I was expecting, but the candy shell feels a little bit harder than a regular M&M, and the chocolate inside is a lot better in my opinion. I just feel like it's an M&M with better chocolate, but it's just called a Smartie, and that's really what the thing that really just throws me off. It's called a Smartie. Why is it called a Smartie? Over in America, they're like these little, you know, sweet tart kind of candies. That's what I'm used to as far as Smarties are concerned. But let me know what you guys are used to out there. And I mean, have you ever tried any of these things that I have showed off in this little segment here? But I want to know. Just drop a comment right down there in the box below. You guys know what time it is. It's vape mail time, and I am excited about this because I've been holding on to these things for quite some time since I didn't do a vlog last week. And the first one, I'm not even sure if it's vape related. It's from Amazon, or at least it looks like it's from Amazon because it's got this Amazon packaging, but I don't know. You and I are going to find out at the same time here, so here goes nothing. Okay, so far so good, I guess. Alright, I don't know what it is, guys. I have no freaking clue, so I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. Well, I got glitter bombed. Well, guys, I guess I got glitter bombed. I don't know who hates me this much, but thanks, guys. Thank you so very much. Yeah, there's just glitter everywhere. Really glad I recorded that because I could have done this at home and that wouldn't have been good. But yeah, lots and lots of glitter everywhere. Every single bit all over me. I'm going to be finding glitter in my office for the next year and a half. Well, to whoever sent me this, you got me. Congratulations. I knew something was up. I knew I shouldn't have opened it on camera. Oh well. Well, I don't think anything is going to top a glitter bomb, but we've got this next one here. So let's go ahead and carefully rip it open. Hopefully it's not another glitter bomb. Carefully. Okay. All right. We're okay so far. Okay. It's just a me pod, you guys. Thank you guys over at Smoking Vapor for sending me this lovely me pod. This is the Rave edition. They told me they're going to send me one. Awesome. Really love this thing. And some new pods. We've got some upgraded me pods to check out as well. So I will be filling this thing up and trying it out. And we'll check in with you guys later on that. So next thing is right here. Let's get my scissors here. Cut her open. Okay, it's not a glitter bomb. Don't worry. It's Hometown Hero. Oh, what do we have? What do we have here? Oh, okay. This is their latest stuff. This is the Just series. We have Just Strawberry Punch and Just Lemon Blast. There's two of them there. We also have Just Watermelon Crush. And I have a second set as well. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, Hometown Hero, for sending me even more juice. Those guys, you know, they hook me up big time. And you know what? Make sure you guys check these guys out because they are awesome. They have some really good juice. They keep coming out with bangers, and I just got to show some love for the guys over at Hometown Hero, especially Kenny out there. If you're watching, thank you so much for hooking a brother up. Since I really don't need this much juice, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for these at some point in time, so stay tuned for that. And thank you once again to Hometown Hero for hooking me up big time. Alright guys, let's cap it all off with a random review, and today we're going to do this one right here. This is Le Confesseur, and it's mango, strawberry, apricot, and pear. I forgot to read the label earlier. I thought there was peach in there, but I was tasting the apricot. But with that, I have that on my big old TS mod here, so before we even get started, let's just go ahead and have a quick vape. Oh my god, I love this stuff so much. I don't know what these French-Canadian guys did to make this stuff here, but they might have sold their soul to the devil because this stuff is fan-freaking-tastic. I am in love with this flavor. I should have picked up like 10 bottles of it at CVE, but I guess I just wasn't thinking. This is really, really top-notch if you like fruity flavors. Mango, strawberry, apricot, pear. Pear is on the lighter side, I will say, but you know, traditionally pear flavors are fairly light. I do get a mango flavor, I do get a strawberry, and I definitely get that apricot in there as well. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It doesn't destroy your coils in a day, which is great, and it's just a nice, summery, fresh, fruity flavor. I am absolutely in love, you guys. They also have some other ones that are really good as well that I have to mention. They have a pistachio flavor that is top-notch. They also have a vanilla maple cookie, which is fantastic. Oh my god. I mean, I am a huge maple fan, and they just nailed it with this one. You get the actual cookie kind of biscuity flavor and that just lovely maple filling as well. Oh my god. They actually had the little maple leaf shaped cookies there, and I got to try one of those as well. I'd never had those maple cookies before, which are awesome, but yeah, their maple flavor is fantastic, and they just are a really good company. You guys definitely got to check them out. I'll put a link down there in the description below, and hopefully you guys can get some shipped to wherever you are in the world. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the various topics that we talked about in this video here. Check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the box below. If you really like the video and want to give me something in return, then you can sign up to be a patron of mine. The link right down there, of course, in the box below. You don't have to give monthly. You can also give me a one-time tip as well with the paypal.me link also right down there in the box below. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on. I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. Glitter everywhere